Y'all know on the rights to this. Hey, what's going on? Like to welcome to another edition of No Fan Sports Podcast. Whew, had to get right while we doing this. Whew, excuse me. Nonetheless, man, we have a week eight NFL week 8 is in the books, man. I know it's been a minute since I got on here. I'm trying something new. I think I've said this once before. Hats off to anybody that's been out here doing things, man. It's a lot of work involved. Preparation and different things like that, and time and everything. But I'm your host. I go by New, just simple NEW. Just a simple NEW. And what we like to do here at No Fan, we like to talk about sports and other little topics too. Things, some of the things may be going on. We touch on that a little bit later on. Got a little segment. Got a little segment that we do like in the show. We stay on code no matter what, and we always keep it a buck. So we touch on a few things that may or may not be taboo or kind of taboo. Also, let me hit this podcast disclaimer too real quick while I got you before we get started, because I want to show a couple little clips that I seen. Gating the book, and it was a movie out. I forget when it was out. Tay Diggs, I think, and Shania Latham, Brown Sugar, and he asked that question. When did you fall in love with hip hop? And kind of feed off of that, I'll pose that question out there. When did you fall in love with football? Football was my go-to sport. I played, several other sports: baseball, basketball, soccer. I played pretty much everything that I can, get involved in. I was fairly decent or whatever. But football was my home. That was my high. That was my love. That's what I fell in love with. I fell in love with football. But let me hit these podcast disclaimers real quick. Shout out to you all too over there on Instagram. I'm probably sharing my screen too in a minute. You won't be able to see it, but I kind of give you a little layout, as I'm going along. Nonetheless, views of No Fan Sports Podcast is providing this podcast as a public service, but it is neither a legal interpretation nor a statement of No Fan Sports Podcast policy. Reference to any specific products or entity does not constitute an endorsement or a recommendation by No Fan Sports Podcast. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply and endorse of them or any entity that they represent. Views and opinions expressed by myself are those of my own and do not necessarily reflect the view of No Fan Sports Podcast or any of its officials. Fair use. This is the disclaimer here. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. So we got that out the way. And I always ask people, I don't know if you've been here before, if you catch this broadcast later, leave a comment, man. Let me know that you're $1 short and a day late. Just let me know. Just put it in $1 short, day late. Let me know that you caught the podcast, and we like to interact with the folks out there. Feel free, step on in, give you a shout out and everything like that. But I always ask. I ask folks all the time. I say, well, before you come in or you get a chance, I think I may have posted on my No Fan Groupie Slappy Facebook site. Wow, and I didn't add them DMs. So I should have added them DMs. Where is that thing at? Oh. And it's the mission statement, man. And without going through the No Fan, we can go through it. Definition of a fan: an enthusiast, the devotee. Just a couple of things. A groupie is English. A fan of music who follows the group or whatever. Fan of an athlete or a celebrity. And a slappy is just a stupid or moronic person. But we like to go with it like this. This is one of our like a mission statement for no fans, so you can get kind of caught up, and you understand where I be coming from when I do this. And it's funny because I was talking to a former coworker of mine. He and I used to go back and forth a lot about a lot of sports and different things, and you wasn't understand it, but I was telling him, what we like to do, and this statement go speak for it. It says no fan is a groupie. is a fan groupie slappy free zone. We here at No Fan are dedicated to not just the analytics, the metrics, and the statistics that are part of any given sport, but also the non-measurables that can't and doesn't get recognition on the stat sheet. Things like heart, mental tenacity, drive, and hunger, etc., as well as being able to understand the difference between athleticism versus actual skill and fundamentals. Instead of being caught up like a deer in the highlights, as you are over his or her physical gifts from above, yeah, that's a fan. That's fan talk. No, we speak of X's and O's that many of you may mistake for hate. And I think that mission statement in itself speaks for itself. Again, like I said, we had we got that out the way. We had week 8, NFL week 8 in the books. And I don't know about you all, man, but I've been really this season. It's been rather exciting. You had a couple teams that came out looking like world beaters. Have since fallen a couple times. Matter of fact, recently the 49ers, this is their third straight loss. I don't know if they bought the Purdy goods too soon or not. Look like he's a system guy right now to me. And they definitely miss Deebo Sanders. I know they miss Deebo, 49ers. They gonna need him. Next time that guy do some money, man, y'all just pay him as long as he playing for you all. Did they let go of Trey Lance too soon? We'll find out. Schedule not getting any easier. I forget who they play next week. I'll take a look and find out. But Cowboys came out pretty hot, real aggressive, looking like world beaters. They did lose my man Diggs, the corner, and I think that really affected their defense. I know it did. They turned around and lost to I think they were 0-4, 0-5 at the time. They lost to a team that had won any games, the Arizona Cardinals. And aside from that L, they just took by the 49ers, shellac, and they just took about a couple of weeks ago. They redeemed themselves over this weekend with the Rams or whatever. But and also the Detroit Lions came out there. They came out and knocked off the Kansas City Chiefs. They was missing a couple pieces, but still was a win. Back in the day, that was a game Detroit probably gave away. But nonetheless, they came out on top. And like I said, and it's been, up and down and up and down. It's been rather exciting because you got a lot of, new quarterbacks in there, a lot of rookies just starting. You got like the Buffalo Bills was world beaters and looked like they window of opportunity is starting to close on them. They're not looking as hot right now. I like Josh Allen. I kind of liken him to the modern day Brett Favre. I'm not exactly sure, but I think they banged up a little bit too right now, but they've been taking their bumps and bruises. Cincinnati came out slow. They've since caught up in the game a little bit, and a lot of people were expecting the Giants to do some things, and they're not doing too well right now. Philly back in the fold. I think they 6-1 right now, whatever it is. Only one lost team left in the league this year. It's been exciting. I'm loving it. The up and down, the favorites, the hype. It's been real exciting. And shout out, let me shout out two of my homies, man. May they rest in peace. My man Roots and my man 40. Both huge Lion fans. And it's not funny, but it was an ongoing joke that we used to share. Well, I would share with them. Because I was always, telling them the Lions and not go do this, not go do that, and we just go back and forth. I used to say, man, we all we'll be 6 feet deep by the time Lions get ready to do anything. And like I said, it was just joking, banter, just a lot of stuff talk, shit talk. But unfortunately, man, and brothers succumb. I'm sure they would if they were here down, they looking down from above or whatever. I'm sure they're very excited. I wish they was here. To join in on some of the excitement from from everybody else, because there's plenty of people running around here. There's a lot of excitement going on, a lot of buzz. One of the ongoing themes or terms, we haven't seen this before. We haven't seen this. That's what they're talking about. We haven't seen this. So I really, I had. That's my hometown. I'm a Detroiter, born and raised out the corner of Tuxedo and Webb, old Metropolitan. But I'm I got off the Lion bandwagon. And if you check some of my previous podcasts, you'll see where I've stated this. I got off the bandwagon a while ago. I got off back, a little bit after Billy Sims. But I have to admit, at this current stage, when the Sims hype and different things like that was, popping, this was the same kind of buzz. They had the little theme song. They were doing the dance videos and different things. Remember Jimmy Spider-Man Allen and all of them, they did little videos and different things. And I think they adopted the Queen song, Another One Bites the Dust. And the buzz was hype, man, but we fell on deaf ears, a whole bunch of bumbling and stumbling and different things like that. And like usual, when they drafted early this year, I was happy, but I wasn't real happy, because I really wanted them to take that young man, Jalen Carter, that D tackle from Georgia, but they ended up trading down. They picked up young man Gibbs out of Alabama as running back. Now, this is all while the NFL called themselves trying to devalue a running back. So I'm like, they like, don't take a running back in the first round. Don't take a running back in the first round. So Lions trade down, pass up on Carter, and take a running back in the first round at number 12. Didn't they get him? And looked like to me, they was just using him as a gadget guy. Third down back, bring him in on gadget plays and different things like that. You get a lot of the notion was getting from the coaches and different things. They wasn't sure if he can handle the whole load, and you hear a lot of the fans around here talking about well, he may not be able to handle the whole load. I'm like, Alabama put out 10 first rounders every year. They've been putting out 10 first rounders for every year for the past at least 5-6 years. It's not like he not going against chopped liver. He already experiencing a nice workload coming out of Bama, knowing the products that they've been putting out these past years. So Montgomery went down. Guy got out of a guy from Chicago. I think got him from Chicago, who was starting, and ended up having to go ahead and get that ball to Gibbs. And shout out to that young man. Had a hell of a game. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I know he ran for over $150. Almost 200 total yards of offense, and he ran well between the tackles. Speed. It's like every time this young man touched the ball is something that could explode. And this is type of player he is, and the excitement that you see. And I'm like, okay, you drafted him as a first round. You run him like first round. That's what you do. You drafted him your first round pick. He should be the first round guy. Well, they took their sweet time, and like I said, I'm not sure he'd be running like he'd have been running like that had it not been for the injury to Montgomery. But he showed out. He showed out last night. He really showed out. It was like a coming out party. Kudos to that young man. And the other thing that I was waiting to see, and because I know my Lion slappies around here, when they hear this, they think I just be hating. But like I said, we talk X's and O's in here, man. We not in love. It's no fan. See, no and the fan. Let me see if you say no and the fan. See, it's just no fan. We just talking about analytics. We can talk about the stuff that ain't on the stat sheet, but we're not in love to the point where we just go overlook all the obvious just because we in love. We a fanatic, or we a groupie, or we a slappy of some particular team or individual. We just don't do that. So whoa. So, and the other thing, so like I said, they're doing well right now. Another thing I really wanted them this past draft, I really wanted them to focus on their defense, because defense was like 29 for 30 something last year, and they did draft it. It was okay. The players that they drafted the first, I liked all the players. I just didn't like the locations, and Uh, so they drafted him. Number one, I'm okay, cool. They got him. So I want to see. I'm like, I need to see somebody in the defense on the defensive line get their name called besides my man Aiden Hutchinson, who they had got. I think he got him the last draft. Phenomenal DN out of Michigan, University of Michigan. Homer. I think he went to school up there in Saline or whatever up there. Um, we're looking for some defensive, somebody else's name I can hear aside for Hutchinson, and I think the young man named McNeil stepped up real good yesterday. Had heard his name quite a few times, so they they put a nice little whoop in there. It was a nice win on the Raiders. Um, and they should be able to walk their division right now, man. It's pretty. I hate to say it like this, but it is cake right now. They should be able to walk right into the playoffs, maybe even challenge for a first round bye. I think the toughest game they got coming up is with the Cowboys later next month. I think in November. Yeah, next month. So, like I said, this season's been great, man. It's been great. Only other thing though that's really been bothering me about that season, about football though in general, and that was the thing when I fell in love with it. When we fell in love with football, when I fell in love, I remember sitting down in the den with my father, and he was watching. I think it was the Lions and the Vikings. I couldn't tell you exactly how old I was or what year this was, but I do remember that it was Vikings and the Lions, and he was in it, and I'm looking like, wow. Then after we finished watching, I'm like, why is everybody's shoulder so big? He had to tell me about the shoulder pads. And I was gone. I was gone. And it was the physicality of the thing too. We had back then, he had some younger days. They had the defenses had little nicknames. Vikings was purple people eaters, and Pittsburgh Steelers was the steel curtain, and the Cowboys had the doomsday defense, and New York Jets had the New York Sack Exchange. This was the thing. This was the thing. I was a huge, like I said, I rode with my Lions a little bit, but I was a huge Cowboy and Raider fan. And the theme of this is when you fell in love. And when I fell in love with the game, I'm ashamed to admit this because it's one of our arch rivals, but I fell in love with a Buckeye. I fell in love with a Buckeye that played for the Oakland Raiders, and I tried to take on his whole identity, man. And if there's some people out here, if you're listening or you get this later or whatever, feel free, leave it in the chat or some DM or whatever. Who was it? If you played against, this is generated to those who played the game or whatever sport it is. But I'm talking about football. This is my love. But who was that player that you call yourself trying to pattern your game out of? You know what I'm saying? Or you was a fan of, this was your fan group. This is the guy or girl who could do no wrong. Who did you pattern your game after? And for me, that was Jack Tatum. Like I said, he's a former Buckeye, but and he was a safety for the Oakland Raiders. Now, during this time though, the Raiders had had a history of was known for a little rough play, a little rough housing, but a lot of stuff was going on back then. And it was like, I ain't gonna lie, it was violent, man. And I trying to put this book together, doing some research, found out, as they was putting this game together, its origins come from rugby, and as they was putting this game together, it was people that actually died on the field, and I forget exactly when, the dates, but it'd be in my book too. The government had got involved, and they was actually thinking about shutting this thing down. So they went through a whole ordeal, trying to figure out how to make it safer. And that's when the pass came in too. They passed the ball, different things like that. But I understand that, that the dangers and different things like that, and why you need to do this and you need to do that. But that was the game, man. That was the love. That was the love, the excitement, almost like Rome in the Colosseum. I mean, this is the world and society we live in. Violence is what's happening. Organized violence, shall I say? Bad violence is not good for nobody, but organized violence. And when a lot of people get enthused in that, and that's what football was. I fell in love with it. Jack Tatum, nicknamed the assassin. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And I'm gonna try to share my screen with you real quick. And I got this this video, okay? And it don't have any sound on it. It don't have no sound. Hold on. It doesn't have any sound, but I want to show you this this clip. Can you let me see? Are you looking at this now? Okay. I gotta go back in there. Hold on. Just bear with me. It's the first time I did this. All right. All right. I'm gonna see. Shut that down. I don't want that. Just bear with me. And I'm sorry for those of you on Instagram, you won't be able to see this, but see if I can work this clip. All right. Can you see that? Hold on. No, I'm gonna do it like that. Hold on. Work with me. Work with me. Okay, hold on. Work with me. Work with me. Okay. Why is it? Okay. All right, let me see if that changes it. Okay. Can you see that? All right, that should be a full screen layout. Is that it? Yeah, we go do that full screen layout. I'm sorry, but we go get this right. All right. Okay. All right, this is full screen layout. And like I said, I was as you can see, my man. That's I'm gonna see if I can rewind it too real quick. That's my man Daryl Stingley. Daryl Stingley. Yes, it's playing again. Bam! Look at that hit. That's my man Daryl Stingley. Used to be a wide receiver for the New England Patriots. You see that? Boom. That was Jack Tatum that gave him a hit. Back in the day, the Oakland Raiders secondary was known. I mean, their whole team was known for land. They had a whole bunch of let me stop that because we don't want to see that part either. That's not ready. We don't need that. They had a whole bunch. Their whole defensive backfield, man. They had just some known killers back there. Linebackers, my man, the Stork, Ted Hendricks, linebacker, Al Zato go down in history. He was turned out he was using steroids. I mean, it just had but it was just a wild gang of guys, man, and they was known for putting them hits on. But that was the ball that I fell in love with back in the day. That's what attracted us to the game. That's what attracted me to the game. That was who I fell in love with, brought me into the game. Right now you're getting a lot of, they didn't change the rules now, so you're getting a lot of roughing the passer and roughing hits and different things. Matter of fact, Deion's son was a Shiloh. Shiloh got ejected for a hit that to me, I mean, he led with his shoulder. And they want to get technical because they're trying to get this bang bang. Somebody he led with the crown of his helmet. Man, look in here. If you want to pay that, they can add flag football to the Olympics Now, if y'all want to pay to watch professional flag football, then so be it. Or pretty soon we'd be looking at a professional 7-on-7. Uh, the violence. I understand you're trying to curb things down a little bit, but for the men that pick up this as a hobby, as a sport, as a job, it's a risk and a reward. No, don't nobody want to see anybody get hurt or permanently injured or die from doing what they're doing, But that's the nature of the beast. Matter of fact, they just was talking about a young man, former Pittsburgh Penguin, just died of a freak accident. Skate blade slid his neck. I think he was 28, and he was just playing the game he loved. It's just a freak accident. Okay. And it's part of it. I grew up watching Evel Knievel. Man, it seemed like they probably broke every bone in his body, but he was chasing that dollar. This is what he was doing. So you got the NFL and the NCAA has followed suit, and what you're looking at is kind of taken away from the aggressiveness of the defensive player. And in my opinion, that's how that young man Hamlin got hurt for the Buffalo Bills last year. He came up a little light, not wanting to get flagged. Young man, I think it was Chase Young, whatever, finishing off his run, dipped them shoulders, put the helmet in his chest, and boom, a man is dead on the field. But that was only because he was unprotected, because he was trying to protect not getting the flag from hitting, so it's like all these things going on real quick, bang, 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 and they want to flag you for being too aggressive. And while they're trying to help the offensive player, you're hurting the defensive player in the same aspect. So I'm hoping one day they can find some happy medium, because it's hard watching the game, man. When you had these bang bang plays. When I was coming up, we used to jump up and cheer for, like, oh, get excited or whatever. As long as it wasn't no intentional bad hit or whatever. And then if you go look at that clip, that's a Jack Tatum against the New England Patriots, Oakland Raiders against the New England Patriots. I think it was in '78. And Daryl Stingley, man. If you pull up Jack Tatum, Daryl Stingley, it's automatic. Matter of fact, you just pull up Jack Tatum, it's going to come up, you'll be able to find it. That hit actually left him paralyzed. And he tried to apologize to Mr. Stingley, but from what I understood, he never did forgive him. That was even before he died. And Jack Tatum died not too much long ago, but within the past 10 years. But he said my man never forgave him. I can understand, but that hit, and this is not right saying this, but that hit, man, man, I was trying to get that hit. It was like chasing a drug, chasing that high. You know what I'm saying? Chasing that high. I was trying to get that lick. I wanted that lick. That's how I fell in love with football. That's how I fell in love with football. A man, Jack Tatum, the assassin. So let me know, man. Let me know who it is that you fell in love with. This is what made you start doing this. Tennis, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever it is, golf, whatever it is that you get down with, man. It was something out there. It was a bunch of sports, man. I'm a hell of a tennis fan. I tried playing. I just could not get that swing together. Great sport. And I fell in love with plenty of them young ladies back in the day too. But yeah, who or what was it that you didn't fell in love with this sport, man, and it made you chase, had your mama buying you cleats and jackets and balls and all this kind of stuff. I love to know. But Jack Tatum was my man. Like I said, they called him the assassin. And in the NFL, like I said, right now, they just started the flag football for the Olympics, and the NFL not far off. So if anybody with some money out there, if y'all ever start a professional flag league or professional 7-on-7 league, I need a piece of that for the ideal. I can't start it, but I do need a piece of it for the idea if you grab that and run with it. Because I this is what we turn it into. This is what we turn it into. And at this time, and I'm trying to shut this down. That's a part of the show, man. I like to call we stay on code and we always keep it a buck. And just recently, and it may seem like I've been belaboring this point, but over the weekend, Colorado played played UCLA, and from what I'm understanding, UCLA is in the nicer part of town. USC is, in the not so nicer part of town. But they was playing UCLA, and apparently, I guess at halftime or whatever, after halftime, somebody got in there and took all the jury, the young men jury. And speaking of jury, man, I know when I was young, we was talking about old folks always. Man, I don't know what it is with these athletes have to wear little chains up under their jerseys, especially football players and baseball players. I mean, especially football players. I can say this to a football player. You remember when what was that dude? Tariq Khalid, what was his name? He used to play corner for Denver. Him and the dude played wide receiver for San Francisco to get into it. He snatched this chain. Man, if I was playing football today and I'm on defense and all you cats running around here with all these chains and stuff, all your jewelry on and everything, I'm breaking your shit. I'm snatching your shit. As soon as you get up on me, I'm snatching it. I'm snatching it. While I'm tackling you, I'm going to snatch and break your shit. Man, get that out the game. See, you shouldn't be wearing it anyway because it's possibly mess around, get hit the wrong way, fall on something, especially seeing somebody had a cross on. You get hit, that cross mess around, hit your throat, man. I don't know why y'all doing that. That shit is dangerous. But if I was playing today and you lined up across from me, and once we get in that clinch, you wouldn't know what I was doing anyway. I'm breaking your shit. But anyway, their jury got stole. First thing I came to mind for me was like, wow, I thought they only stole jury in Jackson, Mississippi, out the locker room. None of the same fanfare, the same dialogue, or same reaction, or same energy that he gave when he was at Jackson State, talking about them people around there. And from what I understand, his jury didn't even get stolen. Somebody moved it just so it wouldn't get stolen. I don't know if this is true or not. And I suppose he didn't never even offer an apology behind it. My personal opinion on Deion and why he left, I've come to the conclusion. I just think, honestly, I don't want to call the man selfish, but I don't think Mississippi was big enough for him. And the reason why I'm, so a lot of people call me talking about I be hating, but I'm speaking. I spoke on this before. When the man told me he was called, and this was bigger than football, I know what that means, and I was excited. I was very excited because not only were you helping them with the football, you're helping our people. That's who I rock with. That's who I rock with. And that's who need it. That's who I rock with. But anyway, he ended up jetting up. Colorado probably go make about $1 billion for this season just because of him. I can go on and on and on and on. But at the end of the day, like I said, that energy that he had when he was at Jackson and that situation came about, the energy wasn't the same this past weekend. And I do see a problem with that. I was already disappointed that he left Jackson State for Colorado. A lot of people tell me you can't count another man's money, you can't count do this, that, and that thing. But when you tell me you've been called and this is bigger than football, I know what that means. And I'm gonna hold you to it. Excuse me. Wow. And to be quite honest, I was brokenhearted. I ain't gonna lie, man. Oh my goodness. I, you understand the magnitude of that? You imagine all them fours and fives, man, just loading up them HBCUs. We're talking about a place once that was only one where it was once that was the only place you could go for higher learning. And some great players, professionals, Hall of Famers in various sports come from these HBCUs, and to help them, not just being by him being at Jackson State. I think it was helping the whole conference as a whole. Not just with the players coming in, but now you got your enrollments go get larger because of the excitement, the buzz, because people want to be around. Look at all those folks came out there to Colorado to come see him. Lil Wayne, all them cats, all the entertainment, fanfare, and that's what they needed down there. Since he's been gone, it ain't been the same. But I ain't gonna bore you with that. Like I said, I go by New, real simple. NEW is right there on the board. Lead the jury at home. I mean, in the locker room, especially those be wearing that stuff up under it, man. Leave that stuff in the locker room, or just leave it at home. And matter of fact, indeed, I keep the energy the same. Energy got to stay the same. Got to stay. The energy got to stay the same. You can't do that. Can't do that. You just can't do that. And like I said, who was that made you fall in love with that sport that you fell in love with? Who was it? And then, like I said, if you wasn't here, you get a chance to hear this, hit the DM, leave a message. Just let me know you was a day, what was that, day late and $1 short. And we get some banter going and carrying on. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I go by New. It's real simple. Again, man, my man Roots and my man 40, man. Rest in peace, man. I wish y'all was here, man. I'll get at y'all later. Peace.